Hi everyone, I hope you are having a great Monday. It is a national holiday here in the US. It is Memorial Day, and while I know a lot of us associate this kind of with a unofficial kickoff of summer, and a lot of people have this day off and are using it for spending time with family, which is always a good thing. Also, just as a heads up, Memorial Day, this is for those of you that don't know, is a federal holiday for honoring and mourning the U.S. military personnel who died while serving in the United States Armed Forces. So I think sometimes we kind of lose a little bit of the meaning of these days, and I think it's important to at least stop and think about, why we have this day, and in this case, honor those military personnel who, died while in service to the U.S., for those of us that live in the U.S., of course. And I feel like veterans in particular, those who have served, are one of the one of the groups in the U.S. that they don't get the attention they deserve for the sacrifices they've made. You hear a lot about troubles with VA healthcare, with job placement after leaving service, services and support for military personnel and their families. I feel like we drop the ball a lot in those cases, and we do not take care of our servicemen and women. So I think taking a moment to honor those who have sacrificed and who are sacrificing right now is very important. So I did want to make a note of that. And why are you doing that, Leroy? We have a situation where I've closed the door so I can record without my husband having to stop playing videos and stuff. And the window has been opened so that they can go out on the porch, go around to the open front door, and inside they have access in and out. And yet Leroy, as always, never approves of a closed door, and now he's scratching at the door. He's pretty dumb. Okay, anyway, so this is an official intro, and as you can see, I have been super busy swatching and swatching and swatching. So what this is my birthday was May 20th, and I realized I had received a couple supplies for Christmas in January from a few friends too that I hadn't done a supply haul, and so this is kind of a supply haul from for all of 2024 until now, but most of this comes from birthday gifts that were sent to me, and never required, always appreciated, and there are a lot of birthday gifts to me. I usually have a monthly budget that I go by, but the month of May I did really well the first 4 months of the year, and the month of May I said we are just going to open it up, and I'm going to pick up a few goodies that I would have otherwise not picked up. So very much birthday gifts to me in this as well. So how my supply, and you'll see a book haul at the end as well, how these work is I have jump links in the description. I have links to the products where available. If they're in stock, I can't guarantee they're in stock. You'll see that in the case with the Hotu markers, but just jump, if there's only certain things you want to look at, feel free to look at those and move on. I know we're all limited in our time, and there's a lot of colorists here on YouTube that we all like to watch. So if this is not your thing at all, I still appreciate you stopping by. I'm going to show you each product, a swatch when applicable, and just kind of an overview of each item. And then at the end, you'll have a quick peek at the books I got for the book haul. If you want a full flip through of those, check out my previous video from Friday that gives a full flip through of all the books that I'm going to show today. And trying to think if there's anything else. If I mention prices, those are prices as of May 27th, 2024 in US dollars. So unless it's stated otherwise. So I'll also provide links to swatches that I use, any references that I make to videos or anything like that. I also provide the links in the description as well, so you can go check those out. And I think that's pretty much everything. It's going to be a piecemeal video. There's a lot to go through, and I really wanted to post this yesterday, but we had severe weather in Tennessee and Kentucky yesterday, and last night I was racing to get this finished, and it just didn't happen before the main line came through, and so here we are today. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it for this intro. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments. I'm not going to do any detailed really getting into how these products do just yet. I am hoping I have more time as the summer goes on. Like I said, I always end up buying for the time I want to have to color, not necessarily the time I actually have to color. But I really want to make it a goal this summer to utilize more of my supplies, and so we're gonna cross our fingers on that. Always gotta have hope, right? As the way the world is right now, I gotta find optimism in the few areas that I can in my life. Sorry, grabbing a sip of coffee. Okay, so here we go, and I'll wrap up at the end as well. All right, first up is the Hotu 100 markers. My friend Chris from Christopher's Corner kindly sent me these as a gift. I can't remember if it was for Christmas or just hey, I know things are hard. here's a friend gift. I enjoy those too. But he sent me these. I hadn't tried them before. I did a marker series last year. I might link it below, where I feature different markers, and I go through how to color with markers and what to check for with markers, like some of them yellow and things like that. And in that review, I said, really, when it comes down to it, I prefer Ohuhu, CaliArt, Copic, I thought there was another one. Any type of markers like that that are frequent or well-known brands, I guess, for coloring with markers. And I typically try to stay away from marker sets that have, more random generic names that maybe aren't as well known, because I tend to find those in shuttle art, I tend to find yellow and just aren't very good markers overall. But Chris had a really good experience with these and wanted me to try them out, and I did. And I have to say, these are really good workhorse type markers. So if you love using markers in like color by number, or you love to just straight color with markers on like in Amazon books or something like that, I think these are great workhorse type markers. So let's take a look. One of the cool things is their cases are very solid, like Ohuhu fabric cases. Typically, I don't keep my markers in the cases they come, because they're usually flimsy and there's not reinforcement on the sides and everything. But like this has reinforced sides with like cardboard, and it also has these split into 4 sections. You can't really see it because it's black, but they are also reinforced. So it's a very solid case that I like to keep them in. And here is the swatch. I actually had to redo this one this morning. I thought these were out of stock on Amazon. I said so in the intro, but then I found them. So I don't know if I just wasn't looking right last night or what was going on. So there are the markers. These are chisel and fine tip. They are round markers with little notches on here to prevent them from like rolling off a table. I like the fine tip because it is fairly elongated, so it feels like this really is a legitimate fine tip that isn't going to give you too much. I don't know how else to explain that. I'm not explaining it well. Anyway, so and then you also get this little thing that you can use behind pages to like as a blotter page, but it's not the full size of a regular sheet of, you know, coloring book page. So, and there was also the swatch card here that I could have used if I get another one of these, and it's a very good possibility. I will probably just swatch that one and keep it in here because it's a lot easier than this paper chart, but I digress. This paper chart is actually from coloringbliss.com. This is 150 in one, and I'm getting to the point I like all my swatches in one, on one page. So this is really good for like markers or anything else that doesn't have a set swatch card that comes with it. You know, the one that you didn't see. So here are the colors. I messed up right there, so just ignore those. However, this comes with your, if you have 100 marker sets, I feel like this comes with the basic colors you would expect. Like this, and the numbers are very similar. R107 I see quite a bit across the board. 218, 702, 703, 203, 204, and 205. 003, I think there's an 025. Maybe that one too, though that one feels a little darker than most of them. R502, 503, 107. A lot of these seem to be very similar numbers, which makes you wonder if like these are all, you know, what else do these label, what label could these be under the same label as like a Hotu or something like that, and they're putting out the same type of markers, or Cali Art or something, who knows, right? But anyway, so you have numbers if you use a lot of 100 sets of markers that you're pretty comfortable with. Consistency in those colors. I feel like a 100 marker set gives you a good set of 25 to 30 colors to use in a color by number. Is very hard to find a curated 50 marker set that can meet that. And I only found one, and that was Weisbrandt, and they've stopped making those. So, and those were my beloved brush tip Weisbrandts that I always talk about. Those are, as far as I know, are out of stock. And so I kind of needed a new workhorse marker anyway. So these are the colors. Like I said, the only thing I will say about this set is I feel like there are a lot darker colors in this set than are typically in a 100 set. You have quite a few light colors. I don't think you get a lot of medium tones. Maybe in your blues you do, but like with your oranges, you actually get a pretty light kind of apricot orange here. But like your 608 and 906 are a little bit different, but I just don't feel like you get a lot of medium colors here. You get a lot more dark colors. So if you typically want to create like 3-color blends, or you want to use pencil over these, you typically want to use a lighter marker base. This might not be the best set for doing that kind of stuff, depending on how many colors you're using. But for a color by number set, I think this works just fine. I was going to show you where I've colored with it. I've actually been exclusively coloring in this book with these. I've had these color in this and ceramic tiles probably about 24 pages now. And I've had them since January, so we're almost at 5 months. And I really, the green, the G127 that I use for just regular green, is about the only one that's really running dry on me right now. I think these do great for large spaces. My only critique is that some of the markers can be a little juicy, particularly the red. And the thing with red is it does like to bleed. I'm also very sloppy with markers, so some of these areas are my fault. But I was going to show you some examples what I mean. If anything, yeah, some of the markers get a little juicy. You can see how many pages I've already done in here, and these are big spaces for markers, right? Like, my biggest thing that drives me crazier than anything else is coloring a big space with a marker and having it run dry right in the middle. That is just, you want to enrage me while I color, that's the way to do it. And so far these have delivered for me really well. You can see where the reds bled a little bit into that yellow. I think I had just started using the red and it was just a little overly juicy. This blue did bleed a little bit into this peach, this really intense blue color. So on the darker colors, you know, be a little, maybe a little more cautious than I typically am with them, but that's the only, I mean, they do great. I really like these. Thank you, Chris, for sending them to me. Like I said, these will kind of be my color by number workhorse markers, and I see myself purchasing these again in the future. These are on Amazon right now as of May 27th, and like I said, I did find them finally. And the cool thing is they are $60. However, I'm getting a save 50% on with a promo code. So 100 markers for $30 is a really good deal in my opinion, for sure. So definitely go over there and check that out if you want a good solid chisel tip marker that's a little cheaper than Ohuhu and Cali Art and the more name brand markers that we all are familiar with, but you want one that'll work well with color by number and like just doing bases and things like that. This is a good set, but again, just with caution, there are quite a few dark colors on here, so if you want to do pencil over the top, or if you want to create like 3 color blends and stuff like that, this set probably isn't the best set for doing that. This is just for, I need a solid color marker to put on a big space on a piece of paper. And like I said, they've held up really well with me coloring in multiple pages with them. So I have to say these are actually pretty good. So links in the description. So I think back at Christmas, Tammy gifted me this Graphitint paint pan set that I had on my wish list, and I wanted to show that. I have the Graphitint pencils, but I did not have this little paint set, and I've been wanting to use these for a while. I know they're not technically watercolor, but I'm hoping to use them in a demo. They're technically just paint. They're not watercolors, but I'm hoping to use them in a demo for Watercolor Summer, because basically I'm counting watercolors, anything that you have to use water with. So even if it's just regular paint, I think we're just, as long as I'm using water with the paint, we're going to call it watercolor because I'm using water. It does come with a little water brush, which is interesting looking. What is that? Okay, I don't see. Oh, well, I guess, yeah, if you want to keep water in it. And, yeah, because it doesn't quite... Wow, that is odd. That is just slight. Like, they could have just cut this a little bit to make it full. Okay, well. Anyway, they made it easy for travel, which is very cool. And I'm going to get that. Those are the colors. If you want to take a look. Then I will cut out a little card and probably swatch these myself and show y'all these in just a minute. Alright, here these are swatched in my own little swatch. So it comes with kind of a swatch chart, but I like to swatch them on my own anyway. You do have little notches and pans on this side if you want to try to mix the colors. So here they are. My green gray looks a little shiny, but I think that's because the water I was using still had some sparkly in it from another set I was swatching. However, these are really pretty. They're just unique colors that I don't typically use while coloring. So these are for my moody era. I guess I would say. And I'm curious to see how these do alongside the Graphitint pencils. So I have a page I really want to use them on, and I have an idea for. I just haven't got to it yet. However, watercolor summer is coming up. I'm actually thinking about going ahead and kicking it off June 1st. So we have a full 4 months, because I do include September, to color and do watercolor summer. So might be seeing these again. Watercolor summer, by the way, the rules for that are as long as you're using water with a medium, it counts. So it could be water-based markers. These aren't, I don't know if these are technically paints, not watercolors, but I'm using water with them. So there you go. So trying to decide which one was which. My in-laws had gifted me some more of these Art Philosophy watercolor confections. I am collecting all these different sets. Let me zoom in a little. And so here's one. It's the tropical set. Set of 12. And they come in these little bitty tins. Little bitty. Maybe not little bitty, but there is that. And then we have our little swatch card, which I'm going to fill out. Here are all the little colors, which I need to put in order and put them. Boy, these were not put in here very well, were they? And so we're going to swatch those. But we're also going to swatch these, which came from my friend Chris for my birthday. And these are Decadent Pies set. And again, you will see I am going to have a lot of little watercolors to take the wrapping off of today. And so here are those, and we're going to swatch these and show you what they look like. Alright, I got these squared away and swatched. We'll start off with the tropicals. So that's what they look like with all of the wrappers taken off. They do tend to be on the drier side, so they may have a little bit of cracking or whatnot on them, but I've never seen that be an issue, at least for me. And then here are the colors. So you know what I'm already thinking. If you saw my flip through on Friday, and when you see my book haul at the end, I actually have a book that is tropical scenes from Color It. And so I'm thinking building off of this palette for some of those pages this summer is definitely going to be a goal of mine. So way to utilize this palette. And I love that pineapple color in the hibiscus hurricane. I am a girl that always loves a good mid-tone blue, and that hurricane is just preaching to me right now. I do like the sunset too. I'm normally not a pink person, but I love that dark, more red violet color. So I did swatch these pretty dark, as I tend to do. So there are the tropicals. And Decadent Pies. I do want to do a video once I get all the sets I want to show you guys, show you all the different sets I have all together, and I do plan on doing that. So here they are unwrapped. Again, a little bit of cracking. These do tend to run pretty dry, but like with any watercolors, you just spritz or drip a drop or two in these and let them sit for a while to loosen up, and then you can pull color pretty easily from them. Again, we've got some shiny here, I think just from the water that I was using. These aren't typically shiny, so just keep that in mind. And these are the Decadent Pies. I'm going to move this down since I tend to be halfway in the screen. There we go. Like this guava meringue color, the pistachio and the banana cream. I've been really in like a yellow season lately. I don't know why, but love the blueberry. As we said, we just stated about the blues, and then that red apple I really like. So some really interesting colors here, and curious to see how I can implement these. And these are more like not necessarily neutral colors. These up here are, but not a typical palette that I would use. So this would be, I'm feeling Hannah Carlson for this one, like a Hannah Carlson page, building a palette off these colors. So we will see. Stay tuned on that, but on to the next one. More watercolors. I splurged on Dreamland Watercolors this month. They had, I have a receipt somewhere, I don't know where I put it. They had the rest of their, I think, tarot set posted, or Major Arcana, or whatever it's called. I picked that up. It will be listed in the description, so you guys will see what that actually is. Yeah, there we go. The Major Arcana Part 2, Arcana, however you say it. I have Part 1, so I wanted to complete out the set. It comes with the little tin, a little sticker if you want it, and then the watercolors come in this wrapper. Nope. These are beautiful, like luxurious, iridescent, and shiny type watercolors. So we have like, this is Death. Death looks awful pretty and awful shiny. We have, oh my goodness, I can barely read these. Strength. Okay, well, I'm not going to do that because it'll take me forever to figure out how to read these. But anyway, you can unwrap them and pop them in here. So like I said, I believe I have Part 1, and this gives me Part 2, so that is my complete set. We will swatch these in a moment. And then I also got these, which are, oh no, these are the Major Arcana Part 1. So there you go. I think I have, so this was the full set. Okay, Part 1 and Part 2. What do I have then in complements to this? I can't remember. It's fine. It's fine. I know I don't have these watercolors, and they were pretty, and I ordered them, so we'll just say that. But we have like the star, we have Judgment, the moon. Boy, they keep issuing those warnings. It's really a shame. I almost want to find a bigger tin to combine all of these. I probably will, because I really need to, like with my watercolor confections, my smaller sets like that are multiple sets, it would be really nice if I had like a big tin that kind of combined them all. But for right now, we're going to deal with the little tins. But let me get these swatched and unwrapped, and we'll take a look at them. Okay, I think I've got these figured out. I actually pulled the Arcana, however you say it, previous set I had. So what I did was I had the Major Arcana set Part 1. And what I did was I ordered Part 2 and Part 3 that were made available on the Dreamland Watercolor site. And I think they got mislabeled because this is Part 2, which is correct, and this should say Part 3, but for some reason it says Part 1. So I labeled the cards as such. I will show you this set, even though this is one I purchased previously, just to give you an idea of all the different ones. So these are part 1. So Dreamland Watercolors does like really high-end luxurious watercolors, kind of like Renaissance colors on Etsy, which I do love as well. Actually, her prices are probably a little better. But Dreamland Watercolor will typically open up their shop, I don't know, half a dozen times a year or whatever, and they will take pre-orders for a collection. And then obviously get the money to make the watercolors and then ship them out. And so this was the part 1 that has all the different, like the lovers, the empress, the fool. I took out the, obviously, and I went ahead and swatched this card as well. And just look at those iridescent. Aren't those pretty? I did get the full pans in these, which is fine, but I actually ended up just getting the half pans in this more recent order. And I did mark this as number 1. So part 2 looks like this. And so they have a little more pastel-y kind of vibe to them. We have Justice, Death, Devil, the Hermit, Strength, Temperance, the Wheel of Fortune, Hanged Man, and the Tower. And so again, these are the quarter pans. Honestly, like I said, I bought the part 1s thinking, like, I don't know what I was thinking, but like I'll probably never have to buy any more watercolors in those colors for the rest of my life. The quarter pans, like, these are so sparkly and so shiny. I just don't see myself using them like in big areas on a page. So I think these will last me quite a long time. But these are beautiful. I love the dark purple of the Devil one. Death, like when I'm holding them up and looking at them here, like this has more of a pink. I'm trying to see how it looks here, but it's more blue. So these are also iridescent, where they change color a little bit depending on what angle you're looking at them. So but this is a really luxurious kind of purple blue. I love this. It's like a blue pink. Again, I am kind of embracing some pink lately. But these are just really pretty and a great complement to that part 1 color set. Actually used a little strip of washi tape to tape these in here just to make sure they're not, I try to make sure these are fully dry before I close them, but in the case that I don't, they don't wind up sticking to the watercolors if it gets humid or whatever. And then this is technically part 3, and it's a small set, but these are really light pastel-y colors. Like we have basically kind of like a silver with another color mixed in. So this is kind of a blue, an orange, a couple different greens, and then kind of a purple right there. But see, when y'all look at it, they look completely different. There's yellow, stars yellow. So you can kind of see what I'm talking about there. Like that's orange. It's, again, iridescent colors. You know how that goes. To see how I've used these, let me see if I can find it. Had it. Did I put it back? Let me look real quick. No, I have it somewhere. Rats. Okay, well. My book that I have somewhere is the tarot book by, oh, there it is. One way to show how these work is in here. All over the place today. I use these on the first page, a number of these for different parts of this page. I have had to use maybe 2 coats on the lighter colors, but on the darker colors I could probably get away with 1 coat. But just look at the shine on these. Isn't that pretty? That's really what I want to do, is really highlight those in this book. And I've had this book pulled for months because I want to do this page as well, and get to it, and I just haven't had the opportunity yet. So there's those in action. I will put the link to her site down in the description. However, just know that sometimes her shop is open without pre-orders. I actually got these shipped very quickly, so I think she already had these made. But typically she'll open it for pre-orders, and then in 2 or 3 months you'll get the actual watercolors because she needs the time to make them. Her watercolors have always come in looking great, beautiful. You know, she really takes her time with them. They're shipped very well. And so I do, you know, if you've got if you've got the money and you want to treat yourself, and you want some iridescent watercolors, definitely check her out because her watercolors are beautiful. She also makes pigments that I think you can use like on your skin, which if I wore makeup or what have you, I would be so excited to use. I think they're like skin pigments, so there's that too. So on to the next one. If you've been around for a while, you know there is a particular type of acrylic paint I really like, and you can buy it on Ranger Ink's website. It's called Dylusions by Diane. I cannot pronounce that last name, but they are shimmer paints. And yeah, the interesting thing here is these don't say they are shimmer paints, but they should be. That's interesting. I think I may have just bought regular paints instead of shimmer paints. That's fine. But I've shown you the shimmer paints, and I'm going to put a picture here of the different ones I have. And I eagerly await them putting out new sets. And they have put out another paint bundle set. And these were particularly appealing to me because these are darker colors. I don't have a lot of the dark colors. The reason I like these paints is they are, for somebody like me who is impatient, I can sometimes do these in one coat instead of two. They are smaller bottles. They are more expensive. However, I feel like I can, instead of doing multiple layers like I do with other acrylic paints, these I can usually do in one coat. So for me, it's like, do you pay for cheaper for a bigger bottle and maybe use multiple layers of paint, or do I pay more for the smaller bottles and then I don't have to paint as much? So these are like darker colors. We have just Indigo, Jungle Leaf. I think these are just the regular paint line. Rainy Day, Tree Bark, Chocolate Drop, and Cranberry Juice. So I will get these unwrapped. We will put them on a temporary swatch just to show you what they look like down on paper. However, I really need to take all my paint and put it together. Yeah, I think I jumped the gun. Usually I just buy the shimmer paint, though I've wanted to buy the regular acrylic paint for a while. It's just, if I go down that rabbit hole, that's going to be a very expensive rabbit hole. But these are a good start, and I can try these out, but I obviously have to unwrap them all, and then we will swatch them. Oh, I didn't include a picture of the shimmer paints because these aren't technically shimmer paints, right? So they're just the regular acrylic paints. But I did get them swatched, just a rough swatch. I need to do an official, like, put in all my paints on a official swatch. That's a project for another day, but just to kind of see how they look on paper. I love that indigo color, but we've stated before how much I love blues. These are very messy swatches, so I just wanted to give you guys an idea of the colors. The green does seem kind of light. I was kind of hoping this would probably be a two color, depending on how intense you want this color two coat. I was saying typically I like these because these paints typically go on as one coat, at least with the shimmer paint, but with this one I think you're going to need two coats to get a more intense color. So, but it has been forever and a day since I have painted with acrylic paints, so to be fair, I'm a bit out of practice even with the swatch. So again, just take this as a letting you see the colors. And I do want to use more of these this summer, even though it's technically watercolor summer. Yes, I know I technically can use water, like with my brush, but if I do an acrylic wash now, acrylic wash with one of these would be a good idea to try. So, All right, on to the next. Another awesome birthday gift from Chris are these. So it is a paintbrush set, and I'm always on the lookout for new brushes, particularly I have plenty of watercolor brushes at this point, but I feel like these will be very useful for like acrylic paint, which I want to start doing more of because I have so many of them and I just never really use them. But they come in this little plastic bin. We'll pull one out. Look very nice. I like that flat brush. Love the feel of them. I think these will work really well for the acrylic painting side. And I really like there's some small detail brushes. I needed some good like acrylic paint type brushes, and so I think these will work very well for that purpose. So thank you, Chris, for this and the watercolor confections. I really appreciate that. Hopefully I've already shown those. Alright, so this will kind of lead us into the book side of this, but I received a awesome birthday box from my friend Tammy at Tammy Colors 2. And this included a couple books that I've already pulled out, but I'll show you all those in the book part of this next. So, but I kept everything else in here because it is so cute, and I thought I would show you guys. I'm not going to show you the card because I don't, you know, that's probably got personal stuff in there. I had to get these just because we know why the just because is. They're kitties. Twist Up Watercolor Gel Crayons. Again, we are on the verge of Watercolor Summer 2024, and I am very curious to see how these work. So I'm not going to swatch them today. However, if I do a demo on these, it's going to take me forever to get the plastic off them. I'll probably do like a demo on these, and we'll just try them out on a fun picture and see how they do. So love that. So cute. And then these watercolors are so beautiful. Some more watercolors. Maybe I will swatch these before we get to the books. Oh my gosh. Tammy, your tape work is phenomenal. Like, I never have to worry that anything you send me is going to get fall out of the package or not be properly wrapped. Goodness. There we go. These are Superior watercolors. Ooh, and they're very nice, iridescent looking. And they're like, oh my gosh. So like, she knows me so well. These are my colors. Like, this is my jam. So they're like Japanese, they look Japanese style watercolors. And these are the type of colors that I'm drawn to. Wow, my white balance is going pretty crazy right now. That's weird. I wonder if that's new. Hang on. Oh, it's probably getting dark in here because outside. Yeah, I'm trying to wrap these up before we get some thunderstorms. But it's a little hard to see them here because my lighting's so off. But normally, these are like some of the funnest colors for me is like yellows and purples and like these bright greens and blues and stuff. And these jewel tones are just beautiful. And so she knows me too well because, yeah, those are my colors. That's my jam. And then you get a little water brush with them. So yeah, I might go ahead and swatch these and the gel crayons out. Just because I've been showing all my other items and swatching them, so why not? These need a little swatch anyway. And then, oh, that is so cute. Just a girl who loves cats. That is adorable. Oh my gosh. Yes. I'm probably going to be using this bag a lot for... Oh, there's something in here. What are these? She's hiding little surprises in the bags. What are these? They're little black cats, but I can't tell... Are they just bookmarks or are they just cats? They may just be cats. And there's nothing special to them. Oh, they're magnets! Oh, okay. So I can use these as magnetic bookmarks. All right. All right. Y'all are going to be seeing these every month because I'm going to be using these for completed pages. That's what I thought when I was looking at them. I was like, I bet these come apart. And they are. They're little magnetic bookmarks. How cute! How cute is that? Oh my gosh. All right, Tammy. You and Chris, I tell you, y'all are awesome. But that is super cute. Thank you so much, Tammy. I tell you, I really this year, well, I'm recording all these out of order, but I'll talk about it at the beginning. Like this has been a good birthday this year. It really has. Very unexpected. Very unexpected gifts I've been getting, and I'm just overwhelmed and touched and grateful. So let me get these gel crayons and these watercolors swatched out, and we'll take a quick peek at them. Alright, so with that box, I'm not going to like officially make a swatch of these just yet, but these are the Cat Parade Twist Up Watercolor Gel Crayons. And they come basically in just some, or basically in basic colors. I'm going to take one out. They got the little kitties on them. And I'm not doing an official swatch on this, we're just playing, but this is what you get, and then you can twist it. And, ooh, that's some really nice color. I really just had to barely touch it to the paper to get that. And then if I want to go on my finger and kind of smooth it out, that's what that looks like. Not quite can smooth out all the lines. Really digging in there. Can't quite smooth it all out. Now I got pink on me. And then let me try a different one. Oh yeah, you barely have to touch the paper to get color, which is really cool. I like that. These are a little they're by Ooly. They are like a more pen sized, I guess, than like, you know, fat marker sized. However, because you barely have to touch them to the paper, you can make them go pretty far. Let me grab a water brush and we will wet this and see how that goes. Make sure, well, water's a little stained, but that's okay. So these are watercolors, so they should be water soluble. However, that is not looking too water soluble. They do not look like they move very much with water, unfortunately. So that is a bit of a bummer. What I would recommend you do with, if you bought ones like these, is put them on a palette, either like the Carandache palette, which should have been included in this because Chris got me this too. Here it is. Hey, look. So what I would recommend you do with these is put some on a Carandache palette, or the cheap little cutting boards you can get like at the dollar store are also really good types to use, cheaper versions of this palette, but like just pull it from here and then put it on the paper. That's going to get you a lot more movement than putting it on the page and then trying to activate it. Now some gel crayons you can do that with, especially like I don't know if the gelatos, the Faber-Castell gelatos are considered gel crayons, but they're kind of similar in texture. Those will dissolve depending on the paper. But with these, yeah, your best way to use them would be to put them on a palette like this and then transfer them to the paper. So But these are very cute if you just want to try out some gel crayons for fun and you just need some basic colors to do that with, maybe just for bases, and then you could come in with pencils over the top like I like to do. I think these would be cute. And of course they're little kitties. What can you know, y'all know, y'all and Tammy and Chris and all y'all know me real well. If it's cat related, I am a fan. Now, for these Superior watercolors, she really knows my jam, because these give me like an 80s, 90s vibe. Look at those iridescents. Aren't those gorgeous? And the different colors, like when I'm looking at this, I'm seeing more of a purple violet, and like when I look at it up here, it's more of a pink because of the way that it's sitting. But like, oh, these are gorgeous. Gorgeous. And like I said, I get kind of an 80s, 90s vibe from these. I love the colors. So, like I said, I get really drawn into like this yellow and this type of purple and then this teal and green. Like, I love that type of palette. I've used that a couple times and it's just, it's a vibe, right? And but I love these. These are so pretty. Thank you so much, Tammy. And oh, I've already showed everything on there, so on to the next thing. So yeah, like I said, I had some big happy birthday to me presents. These are basically not that I have to have a reason to buy anything for myself, but these were definitely a treat yourself moment. Just is not been an easy year so far, and I feel like I handled the first 4 months of the year pretty well. Sorry for all the dinging in the background. But I I decided, you know, I would reward myself accordingly. And so I did splurge for these. This was a bit of a lark for me, if you will. So this is the 150 set of the new 150 set from Derwent of the Chromaflow pencils. I have been having a little bit of a issue with Derwent anyway because of how they handled the release of the new Inktense pencils, and I still feel like those have not been, still aren't, still are overpriced, I guess. So the full 100 set of Derwent is still like $215 on US Amazon, and I was like, that's too high. It shouldn't be that high. And so I still feel like that price needs to come down. If I buy them open stock, I checked and it was like, now they're available open stock for the US, and they do have the 100 set available in the US. So thankfully there's that. But when I went to try to buy the open stock ones the other day, the 28 I'm missing, they were like $3 a piece, and I'm just not paying $90 for 28 new pencils. I don't care what it is. Um, so, unless they're the museum Aquarelle, maybe, just because I would absolutely, you know, those I feel like are my favorite watercolor pencils, but I just don't think I'm going to shell that out for Inktense. So if you can get them in a 50% off sale, they're fine, but like, they released them just in the UK for a long time, and it took a while for them to become available in the US, and it just irked me, right? And so then they released this, and of course, right now it's only available in the UK again, which is fair, I will say, as an American, as a US citizen. A lot of times we have access to products firsthand that a lot of other countries don't have to pay more to get access to, have to wait for them to become available in their country. Sometimes they're not even available, and they have to get, just like we do with Amazon Japan, you have to get a little creative sometimes and find different ways to get supplies that aren't readily available in your country. So to be fair, I realize that, you know, speaking as a U.S. citizen, I'm pretty privileged in that regard, and that doesn't happen very often to us, and more so for other countries. So that's fair. But I will say, I just think it's a weird thing to do from Derwent's perspective, because I would think in terms of profit potential, you would want to make sure you release, you know, internationally as soon as possible, I guess. Like, I kind of, like I said, I felt a little weird about the new Inktense pencils release. Like, I felt like they should have done that differently, but you know what? I'm used to being the low man on a totem pole at a company. I am not a CEO or a high level person, so even if I was at Derwent, I'm sure nobody would listen to me. So take with that what you will. However, the big thing, so I went ahead and splurged and bought these from Amazon UK, which was probably a little extra. I don't know what these are going to run when they are available in the US. And so I did do that. They came relatively quickly. And the big thing that everybody was upset about, and I bought these knowing this, that not all these new pencils were going to be available open stock. So for those of you that aren't aware, originally there was a 72 set of Chromaflow, which I own. Then at some point there was a 100 set put out, which I didn't know. But now they've even went further to 150 set. Now this will probably be the max that they do. As far as I'm aware, those first 100 pencils are available for open stock purchase. So I could technically buy, if I was just going to move from 72 to 100, I could buy those pencils to complete that 100 set. However, Derwent had originally said they were not going to make the extra 50 pencils open stock, and rightly so. People were mad when you pay this level for, you know, artist level grade pencils with this level of quality. It shouldn't be. Like, I can understand on budget brands why they don't make open stock available. It's just probably cost prohibitive for them to do so. But for a company like Derwent and a big brand like this, I expect better. So you would just, use those 50 pencils, and then once you were out, you'd have to buy a whole new set or just do without. And that's not cool. Like I said, on an artist grade pencil, I feel like you should be able to make them available open stock. My opinion, but I'm not my only me saying that. Apparently there was enough pushback. I'm going to link the video. Color with Claire has all the details on it. She asked Derwent directly some questions, and their response was that they are going to make those additional 50 pencils available open stock. The 150 set is coming to the US eventually. They did not have a timeline. I can't remember what the phrase they used was. It was a fancy way of saying it's going to be soon, but we're not going to commit to a date just in case something happens. So soon could be 3 months, it could be a year. I can't say for sure, but definitely go check out Color with Claire's video for like the full question and answers that she got back on that. But I watched her video, and I'm so grateful that she did that. I think Derwent changed their mind because they got a lot of pushback, because a lot of people just wouldn't buy this set for that reason, and I completely understand. Honestly, I was regretting this purchase because of that. And the only reason I went ahead with it was because I use my pencils so infrequently that I figured I could keep the 50 for quite a while before I use them up. So anyway, 150 set available on Amazon UK. Cult Pens, which is a UK company, has a set. If you have the 72 set, they do have the 78 additional pencils available for purchase. But like, if you're in the US and you look at the price, it might just be more price conscious to go ahead and get the 150 set if you can't wait for it to come to the US. So I don't know what the price point's going to be when it comes to the US. So but I did splurge. Okay, saying all that, now we're going to actually look at them. And I'm going to bang around the, I thought that was a cat. I'm going to bang around this, and then I'm going to go find my swatch. Just a minute. All right, now I found it. So, Derwent tray. Of course, you get these little kind of inexpensive plastic trays. I had to sort these in the color order that I swatched, which I'll show in a minute, but this is what they look like. I really do like the Chromaflows. I like the 72 set. They're probably my favorite Derwent pencil, to be quite honest. The ink tints, I like the ink tints pencils, but I feel like those should be expanded to a 150 set, honestly. And so because they're limited in colors, they're just not quite my favorite. God, this is really bright. Sorry, guys. Anyway, I really do like the Chromaflows. I feel like they are a softer pencil. I've talked about at length about my tendonitis issues and how when I use colored pencils, I tend to want to use softer pencils. I think the only other set I have, the Polychromos is 120. Prismas are 150. There's no, Black Widows I think is 180. But this is like the next biggest set now officially, so I believe this is going to be like a direct competitor to Prismacolor, which again would be a reason why you'd want to make them all available open stock, because Prismacolor does the same. So, but I digress. They've rolled back on that, so I was pretty much ready to just stop buying Derwent stuff at first. When I found out about the open stock, I was like, this is going to be it, or the open stock issue. But now that they've backed up, you know, well, thumbs up for now. We'll see how they do. They're not completely off my shit list, but they are, I feel a little better about them. I also feel a little better about them after looking at this color chart. So, speaking of color with Claire, I love, my absolute favorite color charts to use are her color family charts. And she was kind enough to put this together. I'm going to put the link in the description. You don't have to pay anything for it. However, I do like to send like $1 or whatever, £1 equivalent, whatever that is, anytime I get one of these charts, just because I know it takes time to put this type of stuff together. But I cannot tell you how much joy how much easier it makes it for me to pick colors when I have a family chart like this. And the way she puts them together is just beautiful, and I would love to give her a list of like all my pencil sets so she would do that for me. Like, I probably would pay her to do that, to be quite honest. I'd love to have them all. I'd love to have them all in the same chart, but alas, not quite there yet. Anyway, I really feel like they took those extra pencils and did a lot of good with them in this chart. You have this kind of soft yellow to kind of an ochre color up here. You have different yellows. You have different types of skin tones that you can utilize. What I really love is the red violets here. When I was putting them down, I'm not a huge pink person, but I feel like there's a whole lot of red violets happening here and a whole lot of purples. And we don't get, I feel like, a lot of purples in coloring mediums. So I'm really loving these. I love the blues as well. And I'm trying to decide if, I think Lagoon might be my favorite blue in here. It's always blue, isn't it? Or it might be this Santorini, which is very similar to the Mykonos blue, and Arteza, which is like my favorite pencil color ever. But I love the extra greens too. So you get like your kind of blue-green teals, you get your brighter greens like your grass green and your minty colors. But then you get like these really nice kind of olive colors, and then more of medium greens, and then more like kind of brighter greens and browns. It's a very interesting collection of greens here that I feel like are very useful together. You build a lot of different, I get tired of coloring all the leaves the same color, so I like different sets of greens just to mix it up, and I feel like the set really gives you that. And I like the collection of the grays down here and how these are done. You kind of have like some red grays here. You have some kind of pinkish grays. You have like a blue gray. So you don't just have cold gray or warm gray and then your black. These actually give you more like blue grays, pinks, red grays. You get a little bit of the warm gray and cool grays here, and then you get a combination of like a silver gold, I don't know if you can see it here, silver gold, silver mint, and ice blue. And so this might be one of my favorite, I think I said Arctics was when I was doing my reviews. Now keep in mind, I will, or review of my colored pencil collection, I will be doing these, you know, down the road, but I think before I said Arctics had one of my favorite curated color sets, but honestly I think this Derwent Chromaflow might take the top spot, so we'll see. But when I was putting these down, a lot of them went down. So the one thing about the Derwent pencils that I've noticed is that they're not always consistent across all the pencils. Generally with Prismacolor, I can get pretty consistent results for each color, no matter what color I pull out of that deck. But Derwent can be a bit, and it might just be due to the color mixing and how they do their pencils. But like some of their pencils on here just go down smooth like a dream. Like you just shift them down, you just put them down and they lay down soft and easily with hardly any pressure. All of these lay down softly and without any pressure. But some of them are a little more, not scratchy, but they don't cover as much space as quickly. Some of them, like, they don't act all exactly the same. I will say the majority of these lay down very smoothly though, so I think it's just based on the particular colors that are used and the formulas that they have. But that is not unusual. I found with Derwent products, their pastel pencils, I have come across that with their ink tints pencils. Just keep that in mind with Derwent pencils, that sometimes the pencils can be a little inconsistent, but they weren't so inconsistent that I would have a problem with them. I think they all laid down really well. I'm super excited to use this set. So, and we will show my other treat yourself moment this month. Well, other than the Dreamland Watercolors, we also have these. So I have talked at length how much I love the Museum Aquarelle pencils, and I have lamented that Carandache has not made those a full 120 set, because the only thing limiting me in that is the colors. I need more colors. And I watched a video by Color and Chemist who took and created like a custom curated set of the Museum Aquarelle supplemented by the Supracolor watercolor pencils. And I've never tried the Supracolor, but I've seen such good reviews about them that I wanted to try them out anyway. So I went ahead and got the 120 set rather than just buying them open stock. And excuse me. So here is the fancy box for that. For now, my pencils are in here because I need to get some more bigger cases. That is the one thing I kind of forgot to do. So these are hexagonal pencils, kind of similar to the Arteza watercolors, and they have like the color name Supracolor 2 soft, and I've already put them in order of my swatch. And then there's another tray underneath. I don't know where the other plastic piece went. Oh, it's under the tray. That's fine. And then there we go. Their packaging is always top notch. I always want to keep my Carandache cases. I won't keep my pencils in here, but because I have these little metal trays, I will probably keep the case and figure out something to do with it, because they are really nice storage. They do still have the plastic trays, but the way they're tightly knit into these are like metal trays, if you can see. They're really well packaged, and they had like plenty of bubble wrap and storage. I ordered both of these from Amazon UK, and then these from Amazon US. So here is the swatch. This is from Becky DIY Color Charts on Etsy, and I will put her link down below. Hers was the only one I could find that had them in the color order that I preferred. So, and again, all one page, which is where I'm kind of coming from here. Right off the bat, I feel like these have really well developed color ranges. I didn't see anything that was just super crazy. Like here, I kind of feel like the dark green should have been further up here, but you know, like I have minor issues with some of the color chart colors, but for the most part, everything's, I feel like, where it should be. But yeah, no, these look great. I love these kind of, I think of them like pickle colors, right? Like the olives and those olive yellows and stuff. And they wet down very easily. Are they going to be quite as smooth as the Museum Aquarelles? I suspect not, but they are going to be so close that I can mix the set and love using both. So I am going to do like Coloring Chemist and curate that set. I don't know how many I'll have left or what I'll do with them yet. I may just keep them as backups, though more than likely I'll just order the Museum Aquarelle open stock, but I just don't know how many of these are going to fit into that collection. I don't know if color names match up or tones or what have you, so I'll have to build that set, and we'll cover that in another video. But I'm really excited to use these. I love the colors, and like I said, I feel like she was super smart in putting that together so she could have more colors, because that was my biggest problem with the aquarelles. So figured I would enhance that, and be in lieu of watercolor summer coming up here soon. You will definitely be seeing these. I do not really want to fold this, so we're going to put it in my pencil sheet. All right, so we are going to wrap up with books, and I normally don't combine these, but I am trying very hard to be efficient with this video, and so we are going to combine them today with this one. I did get a number of books for my birthday as well, and so if you want to see a complete flip through of these books, check out my video, and I'll put a top right corner of this video. There's a card to it. It is a full flip through of all the books from my birthday haul that I posted Friday night, so you can go check that out. Here we're just going to show a few different images. My husband, because he likes to cheer me up, occasionally will get me books, and of course this time he got me some for my birthday. This is Kawaii Skateboarding Dinosaur Coloring Book for all ages, I'm going to say, because who can resist skateboarding dinosaurs? He bought me a dinosaur book last month, I think, at Dollar General, and he was like, I bought it, and then he said I was bummed out because there were no dinosaurs on skateboards, so we laughed about that, and so now I have my skateboarding dinosaur book. Hoping to get a picture before the end of the month. I've had this long weekend, and I've spent so much of it getting stuff done, but not really a lot of time coloring or just relaxing, which is not unusual for me, let's be honest. And then, more dinosaurs. These are Dinosaurs in Gastrointestinal Distress, the Farting Dinosaur Coloring Book. These are fridge pictures. I don't have a lot of books like these, but and as I said, if I ever do a trivia on me, like for fun, for like a live stream or a giveaway or something, like how well do you know me? It's going to be a trivia question of how many coloring books about farting do I have, and this is not the first one I have. This is actually the second one that is gas related. So little bit of trivia for you to pack away if that ever happens, but that will be a question. I already know. I got a couple color books from my in-laws. We got Tropical Scenes, which I love. I talk a lot in the flip through. We're going to start from the back and go to the front. I talk a lot in the flip through about how much I would love a beach vacation right now. This is perfect coming in the summer. If you saw my demo a couple months ago with a color page, I did use watercolor in the background as sort of a trial on this, you know, heavy, smooth cardstock paper, and it did great. So again, very summery feeling, very, and this paper works great for watercolors, so expect to see hopefully at least one page out of this for watercolor summer. I'm hoping to do more. But this is also, colored books are great marker books because they're a little more expensive, but the paper quality is fantastic. It's smooth cardstock, works well for markers, watercolors, and like softer colored pencils, in my opinion. So that is Tropical Scenes. Then we have Halloween Volume 1. Which I really enjoy too. Probably going to be seeing something out of this too. There it goes again. I think throughout this video you will, I'm not sure if the microphone picks it up, but there's a severe warning notice that comes up like when a warning or a watch or something is issued for storms and stuff. And I've had that phone tell me there's a severe thunderstorm warning about 4 times in the last 30 minutes. And I'm not sure if the microphone is picking it up, but you guys have probably heard it, and it probably sounds concerning. It is, I love this picture. I love the fantasy books that are out, but I would love to see more with like goblins, kobolds, trolls, like all the different type of fantasy creatures that you would normally get. Like, I just love this picture. Not even from a Halloween perspective, just like a fantasy perspective. I really love it. So but it is a really cool book. The pictures are kind of all over the place, so I wanted to give you another gander. They are a little loosey-goosey in what's happening, but I do like that. So, very cool. Then I got me a couple books. 50 Monster-Themed Miniatures by Camellia Angelkova. Again, you can see the full flip through of all these books if you go see the video before this one that I posted Friday night. So and last but not least, we have Comfy and Cozy coloring book by Jade Summer. Oh, I'll show you. They do have some of them in the black background. Unfortunately, I didn't get the nice luxe black background. I got a little bit of the line and stuff, but I'm not too pressed on that for this book. It is just adorable. But I tell you, that Amazon paper just keeps getting thinner and thinner. I remember a couple of years ago, I show you guys books from like 2016, 2018. You could not see the lines from the page behind it in the paper. It wasn't high quality, but it was definitely thicker than it is now. So hopefully, I mean, really, other than just straight up copy paper, I don't know how much thinner they can go. So I shouldn't say that, though. I'm sure, you know, where there's a will, there's a way. But so yeah, there's that book as well. And I almost forgot because I had pulled these off to the side thinking I was going to show them in the box. I don't know. Are the 2 books I got from Tammy in my little birthday box she sent. We have The Perfect Cat which is this cute little cat-shaped coloring book with kitties and quotes. I love the quotes. And we also have, let me back this up a bit, the Black Cat coloring book, which is also awesome. I love that the cats are actually filled in here. Black cats can be difficult to color because, of course, then you need to sometimes outline them in white. Use the white whiskers, things like that. I'm not very good at just randomly drawing. So I actually love the fact that these cats are already filled in, and then you just fill in the all around them. They are the stars of the show in this book. I think that's super cute. Alright, well, with that, we are going to go ahead and wrap this up. This has been interesting. I was like trying to swatch everything. I did all the intros for all the products yesterday, and I spent all day yesterday swatching them all at the same time to give them time to dry and stuff. So it may have felt a little disjointed, but that is why. I'm so happy I can just put these away now. I am due in this room for a big reorg. I have some new shelving or some new drawers and shelving and storage that I need to use and sort things into, and I've just not had the time, and I'm really hoping this summer I can do that as well as color more. I certainly have plenty of products for watercolor summer, and you'll be seeing these being used hopefully throughout the summer. I've provided links for just about everything. There were a few items in Tammy's box that I didn't put a link to because they weren't coloring book related, and I'm not sure where she got them, but I tried to at least get the links for the watercolor crayons and then the watercolors themselves, because they're named differently on Amazon. You know how that goes. So I guess if you have any questions, let me know. I want to say a huge thank you to my in-laws for the gifts that they gave me, and to Tammy from Tammy Colors 2 for her box of goodies, and to Chris from Christopher's Corner. I also want to say to both of them, thank you so much for being awesome friends. Like I said, a lot of this stuff, I've really been struggling a lot. I've managed to survive this year, but I'm not thriving. And I don't normally feel super excited about my birthday. I typically feel a bit down, kind of like I do around the holidays. A lot of it is just, it's another realization that time's going by, like my family's getting older, I'm getting older, and I kind of like, I'm big on, I don't want everybody to get older, right? Like, I don't want time to pass by like that. And so weirdly, I get kind of bummed out during the different holidays like that, and I get kind of bummed out on my birthday. I am 43, and with my chronic health issues, I feel more like it's 63 some days. I'm a little scared what it's going to be like 20 years from now. But it's just this feeling like things aren't going to get any better from here on out. Like, this is the best it's going to be for the rest of my life kind of feeling. I know, very pessimistic, but it is what it is. And so I actually spent my birthday sleeping. I took a day off from work, and now I will say any day that I don't have to work is a good day. And I had a 3-day weekend, and I was so exhausted I did nothing but sleep. And let me tell you, that was the nicest birthday I've probably had in a couple of years. And it meant a lot to get these unexpected gifts in the mail. And then just, I got a lot of cards. My husband, I don't know if I already said this in the video, it's so piecemeal. My husband and I celebrated our anniversary on the 16th, and his birthday was on the 13th. So we've had a lot of packages and cards coming in, and it just, feel loved, feel, I don't know, like it's helped a lot. So let's just say. And so definitely appreciated. And I know I'm quiet to everybody else. I know I tend to be quiet, and there's a lot of things that I want to talk about on here that I just can't because I'm kind of limited. Some of the stuff's family and it's personal, some of the stuff's job related, and y'all know I can't really talk at length about my job or my job woes for obvious reasons. And so there's a lot of things going on in the background that, you know, I can't share on here. And occasionally it's just nice to, I don't have a lot of local friends. I don't have kids, and we're very introverted people. We tend to be gamer types, and the community we're in just isn't built for those, like our demographic is rather small, so we just don't have a lot of local friends. And so really and truly it's interacting with all of you in the community. My mods, Loretta and Kim, are also my friends, and I talk to them frequently and appreciate them. But if I'm quiet and I don't respond, if you send me a message and stuff like that, trust and believe I see it and I appreciate it. I'm just usually heads down. It was nice. I took a 5-day weekend, like took 5 days off total with Memorial Day and the weekend off this weekend, and it has really done wonders for my mental health. And while I'm reluctant to go back tomorrow, I feel better able to handle it than I did, say, like middle of last week. So it's been really nice to actually focus on my coloring stuff, though I have not done much coloring this weekend. I do want to do a color and chat. I'm hoping this Wednesday. If not, it will be the next Wednesday, to fill you in on all the things I can talk about that's happened. It's been a while, hasn't it? So, and then eventually I think we're doing Artisto pencils next, me and Tammy, for our color pencil collaboration. I need to get going on that. And next weekend will be completed pages, and you know how that goes. Then June we will kick off watercolor summer. So enough rambling. This has been a long video anyway. Hope you guys enjoyed this. It's been a while since I've done one, and so it probably will be I'm guessing another 5 or 6 months before I do one, unless I just do many little mini. I did so the Dreamland Watercolors, if you watch that part, when I went to the site, I realized they have a minor arcana set, and might have ordered that. So it's still May, right? Like, you know, I really need it to be June 1st. Right? I can stop anytime I want. It's fine. It's fine. It's all good. But anyway, so really appreciate you guys. And I'm coming up, I mean, I'm up to 6 years of coloring, and we'll have to talk about that in some videos. 6 years on this channel too, as of next month. So definitely going to have to talk a lot about that. Just feeling a lot of feelings lately, so that's why I'm babbling. But anyway, we'll talk about that more in coloring chats. Hope you guys enjoyed. If I'm not back Wednesday, I will be back next weekend with probably a coloring book collection, and then my completed pages, not necessarily in that order. And then we'll move on from there and kick in the watercolor summer and colored pencils, and there's plenty of things going on. I just need to find the time to do them. So I hope, whether you are in the US and had an extended weekend, or you're otherwise in the rest of the world starting out your Monday, I do hope you've had a good start to your week. And yes, we had storms last night. We've had some family. It has some trees down and stuff, but thankfully it seems like we all, for the most part, stayed, you know, safe and healthy during it. It has not been a fun spring tornado season here, and I'm hoping as it continues to warm up that maybe that frequency will go down. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed, and talk to you soon. Bye for now.